Welcome, everyone. This is Ana Pacheco, Santa Fe 101. My guest today is Wendy Mileta, and she is an expert in a really good realtor in Raton and Colfax County, and she's going to educate us during this interview about all the neat things we need to know about Raton. Wendy, do I have your permission to record this interview?
Sure.
Okay, well, good. I don't know the first thing about real estate in Raton. I rarely even go through there unless I'm driving to Denver. So go ahead.
That's what everybody says.
That's what everybody says.
We're kind of a pass-through community. I would say I've been doing this almost 13 years. Had my own business here for about 4. There's definitely a change. My first 8 years, I would say, I was averaging 15 to 20 homes a year. In the last 5-6 years, probably 5 years, I've been averaging 50 to 60 home sales a year.
So Raton is now on the map. People have discovered Raton.
Absolutely. I think it's because we're right on the border of Colorado. Once you hit that border, prices jump almost to double, taxes double. So anyone wanting to be close to their children that are in Colorado, I see a lot of that. They're moving to Raton. Also, it's all retirees. We don't have a lot of workforce here. What we do, we're keeping people here to work, but we don't have anyone coming in for jobs. So we're turning into a retirement town for sure, which is not a bad thing. So we're all trying to focus on that. The prices are lower compared to our surrounding areas, even compared to like Cimarron, New Mexico. Beautiful little town as well, but our prices are a little bit less.
And why would Cimarron be expensive? I mean, there's not much going on in Cimarron. It's even smaller than Raton.
It is. I think once you hit Cimarron, Eagle Nest, Angel Fire, you're looking at everybody traveling, ski resorts, those types of people that can pay a little bit more.
And then the closest Colorado town would be Trinidad, correct?
Correct. We're about, 15 minutes over the border would be Trinidad. So there's a rollover from Colorado, obviously. Denver has been my biggest sales point, probably 90% of my sales in the last 3-4 years. A lot of investors investing here, flipping houses, using it for rental property. And then, like I said, retirees, they're selling their homes for a lot more money, 3-4 times what they can get here in Colorado, and then just coming and settling here. They love our mountains, our lakes. The NRA is here, the Whittington Center. That's a big attraction for some people here. So the hiking, the fishing, just pretty much we're a sleepy little town, but people like that.
Now, did the railroad go through Raton?
The railroad, yes.
So does it still go through?
Amtrak. Yeah, Amtrak still comes through here, yes.
So you could actually catch a train to Chicago or Los Angeles.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, we've had a lot of people say that. The last 2 sales I have, they like the fact that they can walk down to the train station and get on the train. So
that's another selling.
And then I would have to say once COVID hit, our sales probably tripled. I think the first couple weeks we were shut down and opened back up, we had, I would say, 5 sight unseen showings that weekend in sales. It's been broader. We've been using our cell phones a lot, doing a lot of virtual showings, and they're just flying off the market since then. A lot of people looking to get out of the city.
So are you then getting remote workers? Because people can work remotely now. Are you getting?
Absolutely. Yeah, most of them are. That's the biggest thing, is seeing what our internet is here. If they can work from home. So most people can now. I would say 75% of people, which is helping our economy, bring some of the younger people in.
And in terms of you're talking that you're less expensive than I see. I don't see Trinidad for whatever reason. I don't think it would be an expensive town. I don't think there's a whole lot going on there.
It's not expensive, but compared to us, you can get a lot more for your money in Raton, per house, per square footage, land, everything like that. You can get a little bit more here.
So what would the average cost of a home be, and like the average size in Raton right now?
We're looking at 3-bedroom, 2-bath, probably 150 to 165 range is our average. Our biggest sales point, I would say, is 100,000 and under. Anything decent in that market is gone within a week.
And is there new construction going on? Are there any developments happening or?
No, and we probably could use some of that. It's just, it's not in high demand, so it's going to cost a lot to do that here. There's a few newer houses, but not to be sold, just current people building.
And in terms of what about, you saying it's retirement, are there like senior living communities there?
There is not. As a matter of fact, I've been talking about starting one myself, but we do get a lot of calls for that, 55 and older communities. We are somewhat landlocked as to, the land that we can use to build these communities. There's not a lot of that left.
So what are you surround, what's surrounding Raton that you're landlocked?
Well, there's a lot of private land, a lot of ranches, things like that. And most of the acreage that we have had over the last 10 years has sold. I mean, a lot of people are purchasing 2 to 2.5 acres, bringing in modular homes because they're more affordable.
And what would something like, if you could find a 2.5 acre lot, outside of Raton, what would something like that cost right now?
They're running approximately, with utilities, except for septic, around 30 to 35,000 for 2.5 acres.
That's very, I mean, again, coming from San,
Right.
everything you're telling me is like a dream. I want to move to Raton.
Right.
But if anybody's watching this, I always remember, every winter when I'm watching the news and we get snow, everybody's like the Raton Pass. I mean, there's all.
Yeah.
I guess for being you're attracting retirees, but sometimes the winters can be rough out there.
They can. They're not as rough as they were when I was younger. Honestly, they seemed so much more treacherous back then. We still are getting the snow. The pass will close a couple times a year, but normally the departments are on it. The minute the snow hits, the highway department's on both sides of the pass. And we rarely have maybe a couple big snows throughout the year, but that's about it.
Well, it's kind of like me.
Nice. People like the 4 seasons here. So
yeah, I'm from Santa Fe, and I remember as a kid we had a heck of a lot more snow than we ever get now.
Yeah.
So it's just what's happening worldwide with climate change.
Absolutely.
In terms of architecture in Raton, here in northern Mexico, we have all these funky, cool old adobe homes. Do you have a lot of that there?
We don't. We have a few, and they're very popular. If they come up, that's what people are looking for. But mostly just your normal ranch style frame home. We do have a lot of Victorians. I would say that's, in the original town side of Raton, those are mainly Victorian homes, 2-level homes, small lots. So that's probably our biggest area. As you get out towards the lake, that's what I'm talking about. People, more modulars, manufactured homes, and a few stick built out there, but they're mostly ranch style. So not as much Southwest and adobe as you all have up there.
And which lake are you referring to?
We have Lake Maloya, Sugar Eat State Park. That's where a lot of people do their fishing and hiking, things like that up there.
And is it big enough that you can have boats on the lake?
You can have a boat, but not motorized.
Okay.
Yeah, just a lot of people canoe up there. So a lot of people like that part of it. And there's a lot of new hiking trails being developed.
So then getting back to you mentioned Victorian homes. I mean, I didn't know that you had Victorian homes up there, and that was kind of similar to like Las Vegas, New Mexico, but it makes sense because of the railroad. People came in historically from other parts of the country. What does a Victorian home run out there if you can actually get one?
Well, yeah, we don't have very many left. I'm actually getting ready to list 2 of them, 3 to 4 bedroom, both of them. And they'll be listed around $225 to $275, depending on the condition of both of them. I would say 5 years ago, they both would have been closer to $150, $175.
But generally, these Victorians are going to need some work, right? They're going to need some.
Most of them do. Yeah, some have worked on them. But yeah, most of them are going to need work. Electrical, plumbing, some of that tends to be older in most of these homes, but you can't beat the character. So you're basically
that's something that's kind of a selling point for Las Vegas too, because it's like, you leave Santa Fe and you drive to Las Vegas. It's like, God, where am I? It's like so different,
It is. I used to live there for about 4 years, so I know. Yeah.
Okay. And then you've talked about investors like in Denver, that people that come in, they like flip homes. Tell me more about that. I mean, what are the opportunities if somebody's watching this interview in California and they have some money and they want to, they want to invest in Raton? Tell me a little bit about that.
The prices were so much less. So when most of the investors came in, I would say probably 5 years ago, prices were half the price of what they are now. So they bought them, they rented them for a while. Now they're flipping them, doing a little improvement, making double and triple their money. Right now we are short on rentals as well as Trinidad. So people kind of go back and forth between Trinidad and Raton. We are short on the rental aspect of it. So anybody that's wanting to invest in that direction, we definitely can use it. Buy up maybe some of these smaller houses and fix them up.
And why is there a shortage of rental properties?
You know, it's been a big boom. I don't do any of the rentals here, but I sure help people out. There's a lot of traveling nurses through the hospital and doctors. So that's huge. I know they fill up quite a bit of these. They're actually taking over motels right now because there's so many of them. So they transfer in and out every 3 to 6 months. I mean, we do have nurses and doctors on staff here, but they do travel a lot every 3 to 6 months. So that keeps our apartments and housing full.
And in terms of tourism, do you have a big tourism trade? Do you have Airbnbs? I mean, that's all we have in Santa Fe.
Right. As a matter of fact, it's getting more popular. I had a couple friends that have them. I've got one for sale, actually. That's a beautiful Victorian, and we're getting ready to add his Airbnbs to it, I believe. And he stays pretty busy. We don't have as many as I feel we should. We had a lot of people call over Christmas and want to Airbnb, and we didn't have them available so that they could come in and see their families during COVID.
And then you mentioned also that, you know, people go a lot between Trinidad and Raton.
Yes.
People like work in Trinidad but live in Raton, right, and vice versa.
Right. Yep. Absolutely. I had a few teachers last year purchase over here in Raton, and they drive back and forth to the college just because they could get more for their money over here.
And in terms of a major employer, I think there's a big hospital in Trinidad.
There's a hospital in Trinidad, and we have a big hospital here that was built in the last 15 years. We also have a VA clinic here. So that's probably our biggest employer other than the Raton Public Schools.
And then what about in Trinidad? What would be another major employer? If somebody's looking at this, they would need
hospital, and then, well, they're actually talking about opening the mine back up, the coal mine. So I hear that's another thing coming up. If that goes through, we're going to be short on housing again between the two cities.
And do you think that's? I was kind of understanding that you know, coal mining was kind of going out. That we're not.
It was, and I just heard they're getting ready to sign another contract on that, some type of strip mining. But they, the other big employer over there, I would say, would probably be the college. There's Trinidad State Junior College over there. Mm-hmm. So that's a big plus to Trinidad.
Okay. And then in terms of real estate, where do you sell outside of Raton, you personally?
Yes. I mean, we can go anywhere in New Mexico. I've traveled a little to Angel. I've got a couple listings up in Angel Fire. We do sell in Cimarron, Eagle Nest. I'll go to Clayton, New Mexico, Las Vegas. I try to stay in my own area unless somebody really needs me to go outside of it. There's enough brokers throughout the areas that we can refer to.
And so I know a lot about like Angel Fire, but what's going on in Eagle Nest? That's like basically like you just go there to
pass through. Yeah, it's a pass through, maybe a little bit cheaper living than Angel Fire, but close to the ski resort if that's what somebody's wanting. So I think that's what kind of helps Cimarron and all of those out. Yeah.
So is there anything else you want to talk about in terms of Raton real estate, or you're saying like in the last 5 years, it's drastically changed. What do you think is going to happen in the next 2 to 3 years? I mean, we are all going to get out of this pandemic, I'm hoping. So what do you foresee?
Everybody asks me that. That's tough because I would have never thought we would have gotten to this point. Like I said, when I first started, you know, we were only selling 20 homes a year, and now it's just unbelievable. And there's a shortage. So I'm not sure what the next 2 to 3 years will bring. We used to have hundreds of houses listed, probably 300 2 years ago. And right now we're down to about 56 from what I saw today, just a residential. There's probably about 20 commercial. So I guess that it's hard to tell with such a shortage. I'm hoping, you know, there's going to be a turnover somewhere.
And you're saying that maybe you might start like a senior living community. But is that something that would there be the land available for something like that?
There's a few parcels that might be. It's going to depend on what type of buildings and homes someone's thinking about. But I've got 23 acres listed out on Highway 87. I think somebody could grab and put a little homestead there, you know, a few small modular homes or stick built if they can afford to do that, of a 55 and older community. So if there's any investors out there looking, I mean, there's some ideas around here, and I do get a lot of calls for those types of communities, and we just don't have them.
Okay.
We don't have a whole lot of affordable housing for them. Most of them are coming in 100,000 and under. Most of those houses we have aren't as livable as they need to be for their types of loans. So to get VA, first-time home buyers, you know, or FHA homes, we're pretty limited right now. And I think we need more of that. So, you know, more ideas, more builders, more investors would be great to help us improve, you know, how many homes we have out there and what we can offer to the community and people coming in.
And what is
I see us staying busy with that.
What is the population of Raton?
You know, I should have checked that. We're normally around 5,000-6,000, and I think it's staying there even with people coming in, because we still have people moving out that are young and need different jobs or get transferred. So I think it's kind of just to come and go, you know, and we're sticking around that same 5,000-6,000 area.
So you're a small town.
We are, and I don't think we're going to grow huge. I think we're going to just kind of stay the same. But we're definitely going to be a retirement community, and we need to focus on that.
And
we need some more restaurants and things like that.
And do you have a community, your older community, that they're, you know, their kids are grown, maybe they're going to go live close to them in Arizona or something? Are you seeing?
Yes.
Are you seeing people leaving Raton just because for, you know, for life changes?
Yes, I do see a lot of that. Friends of mine, you know, everybody's kind of moving out a little bit to go where their children are. But like I said, there's people coming in replacing them.
Okay, and would you say that the vast majority of the people that maybe are moving in might be from the Colorado area?
Yeah, I would say 80%, 90% Colorado. We're getting a lot of Texas and California right now.
Okay.
But mostly Colorado.
And everybody's getting along.
So far.
Well, that's
so good.
Well, you know, we're getting close to the end of the interview. Is there anything else you want to leave people with, you know, that to help them, to try to entice them to come down to your area, or just any words of advice?
Well, you know, I've lived here my whole life, and I never thought I would see this kind of movement. I've been watching real estate for probably 25 years, 30 years, because I've always been interested in it. My family came over in the early 1900s, so it's enticing to me to see people come to my hometown. It's a great little community. I chose to raise my kids here. It's quiet. Like I said, we're right on the border of Colorado. If you need a little more excitement, that's 20 minutes away, you know, and it's just a good place to relax and feel safe. We don't have a whole lot of crime here. I mean, we have crime, but not the big city crime. So I think it's a safe place for people to think about.
It's a great place to raise your children.
It is. Yeah.
So if there are younger families listening to this, that they can work remotely, and it'll be a good place. You have Little League, you have all the activities that kind of make
We hope to have all of that again, but yes, we have it all.
Well, right. Oh, good. Well, good.
Yeah, it's a good place, and you get to know your neighbors and everybody, so you feel safe. You know who your kids are with. You know, my kids did fine here, and I think it was a better place to raise them than in the bigger cities for us.
And it's a welcoming community. People people want people from all over the country to come live there.
Yes. Yeah, it's very welcoming. I feel like all my customers feel like they have been welcomed since they came here, because almost, you know, like I said, over 90% are from outsiders. So they feel very fortunate to be here. And, you know, I probably have a waiting list of 50 people waiting for the right house right now.
Wow. Well, you're busy. Well,
so if anybody's looking to sell in Raton, now's the time.
Well, good. I'm good. I'm hoping somebody will get that message and give you a call. I want to thank you for your time now, and I'll be sure to put all your pertinent contact information along with this video on SantaFe101.com. Thank you again.
Thank you. Yeah. Nice to talk to you. Have a great day.